Hi, and thanks for logging on to the Daily DVAR halacha. And here's a brand new halacha for you, and it's for Friday, the 8th day of August. Here we go. I want to tell you about an upcoming special day that is called Tu B'Av. Tu stands for 15, of course, and that's the 15th of Av, and it's this Monday. Halachically speaking, it won't affect you too much. It's a festive day, and that will mean no tachnun on a Monday, which means a shorter davening for you this Monday. But the reasons are what's more fascinating. What exactly happened? There are a lot of things that happened on the 15th of Av, and I'm going to explain to you one of them right now here today as our halacha and its explanation. Long ago, after the Beis Hamikdash was destroyed, the Romans were still on a rampage, looking to destroy Jewish communities wherever possible. There was still a very, very large community of Jews living in the city of Beitar, and unfortunately, boy, that's too small a word. Very, very tragically, a giant massacre took place at the city of Beitar, also on the 9th of Av, and thousands and thousands of Jews were killed. The Gemara says that the blood just flowed through the streets as high as a horse's nostril. So that was a lot of massacre, and it happened on the 9th of Av. What does that have to do with the 15th of Av? Well, a very unusual story took place, and that was that the conqueror of the city of Beitar had a crazy idea, and that was that he wanted to take all the bodies of the slain Jews who were killed in the Beitar massacre and pile them all around a giant vineyard or garden that he had, and he would sit out in his garden, and the walls of his garden would be piled very high with bodies of the Jews from Beitar. I cannot understand why any human would want to do that, but that is what he wanted to do, to show maybe his strength or valor or whatever, and that's how those bodies remained. And it was a great, great tragedy, and also all those bodies were not being brought to burial, and that's also a great, great tragedy. For years, he was begged, to relinquish on this crazy, crazy request, and he wouldn't. And finally, years later, and it happened on the 15th of Av, that this crazy evil decree was finally nullified, and the bodies were moved and allowed to be buried. And that was on the 15th of Av. But that's not the only spectacular thing about that story in its ending, that it ended on the 15th of Av. What was amazing was that all of the bodies, every single one of them, had not decomposed at all. And it was years later. And that is a giant, giant miracle for not one body, but for thousands of bodies to not decay, being out in the wild, in the sun, and everything, and they were all intact, and they were all given for burial. And that has like a double, although of course it stemmed from a great tragedy, but it had a double goodness on that day of the 15th of Av. A, that the bodies were being allowed to be buried, and secondly, that the giant miracle of none of them being decomposed was revealed to everybody, and that was on the 15th of Av. And that's one of the reasons that we mark it as a very special day. Incidentally, you may or may not know that the original form of benching was, it's called the Gimel Brachos, the 3 brachos. There used to be only 3 brachos in benching, but because of the double goodness of what happened on that 15th of Av, it was decreed forever that Jews would say a 4th bracha in benching, the one that's called Hatov HaMitiv. You recognize it, the long one. That was added to our benching forever in honor of this story that I just told you and the great miracle that happened on the 15th of Av. So that, and its miracle, makes up one of the reasons that we celebrate Tu B'Av, the 15th of Av, as a festive day. Thanks for logging on. Have a great Shabbos, and we'll give you more on this after Shabbos. Bye-bye.